Okay, so now I'm going to present the wheel of names and spin to determine who goes first to pick one of the numbers and deliver their speech. Okay, so first of all, we have Matthew. Secondly, we have Louis. And then for the third participant, we have Josephine. Fourth one, we have Yoshia. Next, we have Nibutu. Then we have Gabrielle. Next, we have Kirana. And then we have Wilson. Next, we have Aurelia. And lastly, Sonia. Okay. Okay, I have all the names already, so now I will ask you one by one to choose a number from 1 until 15. Each number is a speech prompt and you will do the speech based on the prompt you get here. We are going to pick the numbers in order from Matthew to Sonia. And the note is you cannot choose the same numbers like your fellow participants. Okay, so we start from Matthew. What number would you like to choose?
I'll pick number 14.
Number 4?
14.
14. Okay. So your topic is, should offensive and inappropriate language be removed from classic literature?
Thank you.
Okay. Next, we have Louis. What number would you like to choose?
I'll go with 8.
8. Okay, so your topic is, how can culture either promote or discourage gender equality? Okay, so next, Josephine, what number would you like to choose?
Just to clarify, the numbers that are taken are 8 and 14, right?
I'm sorry. What?
I want to choose 12.
12. Okay. So your topic is, how does homework help students improve their grades? Okay, next. Yoshia, what number would you like to choose?
I think I'll pick a lucky number 7.
Okay, 7. So your topic is, why is cultural diversity important to nations? Okay. Then Miputu, what number would you like to choose?
I pick number 4.
Number 4. Okay. So your topic is, what do you think the world would look like 30 years from now? Okay. Next, we have Gabrielle. What number would you like to choose?
I would like to choose number 6.
Number 6? Okay, so your topic is, how has social media impacted our daily lives? Okay. After that, we have Kirana. What number would you like to choose?
I'd like to choose number 10.
Number 10. Okay. So your topic is, how would your life be different if electricity had not been invented? Okay. Then we have Wilson. What number would you like to choose?
I would like to tempt fate and choose number 13.
13. Okay. So your topic is, why is learning a foreign language important? Okay. Next, Aurelia. What number would you like to choose?
I'd like to choose 3.
3. Okay. So your topic is, how are humans involved in endangered species? And lastly, we have Sonia. What number would you like to choose?
I'd like to choose 15.
15. Last number. Okay, so your topic is written grammar better than spoken grammar? Okay, that is all.
Okay, now that the order is determined, Now, we're going to give you 10 minutes to prepare for the speech. I'm going to present a timer. Once the 10 minutes is over, we will ask you to stop preparing and stop writing on the piece of paper for your speech. Faleta, can you please stop presenting? Okay, so your 10 minutes to prepare for your speeches starts now. Okay, everyone, your time is up. Kindly turn on your camera so we know what you're doing. Can everyone turn on their camera? Okay. For all the participants, please turn your virtual backgrounds off. Okay, now we're going to start with the speeches, starting from the first participant from junior high school. Faleta?
Okay, so the first participant who will deliver their speech is Matthew with the topic, should offensive and appropriate language be removed from classic literature? Matthew, you may begin.
Right. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It is truly such a pleasure for me to be here and address such an amazing audience. Today, I will bring up an issue regarding the topic of, should offensive and appropriate language be removed from classic literature? Well, now, before we begin, I want to ask you all a simple question. What do you think offensive and inappropriate language is? Maybe bad words we say? Or maybe words we utter to other people that can offend them? Well, the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that the answer is obvious. All of us here know that we, especially young people, should be integrated and certainly not say inappropriate or offensive words. Moreover, in classic literature. But I'm sure Some of you might ask why. Well, nowadays, these so-called inappropriate or offensive words have blended in our society. They have become everyday words or sentences we say to each other. So why is it that offensive and inappropriate language should be removed from classic literature? Most people don't take inappropriate languages for granted or seriously. They just take it as a joke or even laugh about it. The same things go for offensive words. But the thing is, not all of us do. It is undeniable that some of us do take it to heart, especially if they have some special relations to the words you say. Not only that, you will make them feel dampened or pressured, you will also ruin God's image in your classic literatures. But it is time for me to end my speech. With this, I kindly ask you all to consider the words coming out from your mouth, or even the words you write in your classic literatures, whether it's inappropriate or offensive words, or even sentences. Let us all take this seriously and treat others with respect, because some inappropriate or offensive words that we treat as a joke might be taken seriously to those who read the words from classic literature. Thank you all for listening to my speech. Have a blessed day.
Okay, now it's time to listen to the judge's opinion and judgment. Can Miss Joanne comment on the first participant's speech?
Okay. Can you hear me? Everyone can hear me?
Yes, Miss, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you, Matthew, for your speech. And I would say that your speech the content the flow is quite good. However, you can give more example and you can explain. You can show the argument why you think that the offensive language is okay for the literature, because you explained earlier it's okay for the life right now. But how about if it's connected to the classical literature? You can give more opinion on that. And also for the delivery, you can look at the camera more. Also, for hand gestures, I don't really see, because maybe you can set the camera down a little bit. And for your voice and accent, it's perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Joanne, for the comment. Now we're moving on to the next participant from high school. It is Patricia Cleopatra with the topic, do you think animal cloning could be used in the future? Why or why not? Patricia, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much.
I start first. Okay. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure to be here. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Patricia Cleopatra, and I'm a student of IPEKA BSD High School. So let us first thank God for this beautiful day and for the strength He's given me to deliver this speech, and for the committee for giving me this another wonderful opportunity for me to share what I've been thinking about cloning, and to everyone who's taken their time to discuss with me about cloning. So we've seen cloning as a scientifically fiction phenomenon, but have you realized that cloning has come to life? At what age have you realized that cloning has come to life? Me, it was once upon a time in this February, my eyes caught an interestingly peculiar video titled something like Chinese Scientists Clone Baby Monkeys. I don't remember the exact title, but it's something like that. I'm pretty sure you've come across that video too, because it has a lot of views. So cloning has come to real life. And can we use that in the future? Because cloning seems like a very technologically developed, and it has a lot of advantages. So the first advantage we all probably think of that is cloning can preserve endangered species. Of course, you're cloning, you're duplicating the exact same genes of an animal. So let's take some example of Sumatran tigers. We clone Sumatran tigers continuously so that the Sumatran tigers has this certain amounts of this tiger, and so we see that tiger as a common species, it's not a dangerous species anymore. And cloning can cause animals from less amount of animals in this world. We can balance environmental habits, like we can, if, for example, we have less frogs in this ecosystem, and we can create more frogs by cloning the exact same genes of frogs so that it can be balanced. Once has it less and now has more and is now balanced. And by having something less and now more by cloning, we can guarantee the world's food supply. Of course, like, let's change the subject into cows because we don't really eat frogs unless we eat squeaky. So we clone cows and we get more milk from more cows. More chickens create more eggs. And so we can guarantee the world's food supply as the world is continuously growing and the population increases each year. So we need a lot of food, and we can use cloning as a method to guarantee our world's food supply. But of course, these advantages has the opposite, which is the disadvantages. And one of the main disadvantages is the not efficient to produce offspring. Why? First, I'm talking in this present day that cloning is still expensive and it costs a fortune. So we can say that breeding naturally is a more efficient way in this time to create more offspring. And that because science is not, in cloning, I'm speaking in cloning is not developed that much in this day. So it may take some time to increase the success rate of cloning. But since is the present day, cloning has a low success rate, so we can use the method naturally breeding animals to create more offspring. And then when you think of cloning, we duplicate the exact same genes of an animal that we duplicate. Doesn't it sound diverse? No, it doesn't. So we duplicate the same gene because it's from one animal and not two animals combining, and it doesn't create a new gene. That's why it's not very diverse if we think of cloning, because it's just duplicating, copy pasting. And the third one that we all also think of is that cloning can go wrong. Cloning can go wrong and produce the animal we don't want, like a monster, for example. We don't want that to happen, right? So in conclusion, I still strongly believe that humans don't have the ability to create life. Instead of cloning to balance environmental habits, we just don't have to exploit animals and keep the environment safe. Thank you very much for your attention. Have a nice day and God bless you.
Thank you, Patricia, for that wonderful speech. Could we please have Sir Brad comment on Patricia's speech, please? Thank you.
Hi, Patricia. Very nice to meet you. Thank you very much for your speech. I enjoyed it very much, actually. Now, I'm happy to see your speech today, full of energy. You use your hand gestures at the right places, and you use good amount of vocabulary that would support your ideas. Now, regarding the content of your speech, of course, you support your arguments with relevant research finding, which is very useful actually. But cloning, on the other hand, has a lot of ethical issues. If you could have just touched that a little bit and present some arguments there, I think your speech would have been more awesome. But overall, very good job, Patricia. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so now we are going to proceed to the next participant from junior high school. We have Lewis with the topic, how can culture either promote or discourage gender equality? So Lewis, you may start your speech.
In the 1800s or 1900s, women are discriminated, as we might all know. We have a mindset that women should just cook at home, raise their children, or do what their husband tells them to do. This is why Kartini stood up for women and make women can go to school and go to work. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable judges and audience, allow me to introduce myself again. My name is Luis Nathaniel Luciano from IPEKA Junior High, Balikpapan. I thank you all for the opportunity and chance for me to give a speech again today. Today I'll be talking about how can culture either promote gender equality or discourage them. Until this day, women discrimination still happens around us. We sometimes see that most men work for the police and soldier and firefighters, not women. Even this happens in our family. For example, our mom and dad has 2 kids, 1 boy and 1 girl. Usually the boys, they allow them to go outside and play wherever they want and however they want to play. But girls, they usually want them inside their house and sometimes are not even allowed to go outside until our parents believe they are already old enough to go outside. We shall not have this mindset because it is wrong in the first place. And boys don't get this special treatment too. Boys are also humans. We should follow Western cultures where women stood up and declared their voices out and speak out their voices freely. Some become a soldier, some become a police, and even a firefighter. Believe in yourself that gender equality is not a problem for equality because humans are created the same. We have the same energy, we have the same mindset and brain. It's impossible to have one human born without a brain, one human born with full strength, unless they have a disability. Believe in yourself and have confidence as long as you're doing the right thing. You should think that you are equal. I am equal, either boys or girls. We shouldn't discriminate girls because of their power or their strength. And we also shouldn't discriminate boys if they can cook or they don't want to. They can't cook because, well, gender is not a problem, right? Boys are not a girl if they can cook, and girls are not weak if they can't go outside. We should respect both boys and girls to do whatever they want. You should think that you are equal because it's good. If you don't think you're equal, you're making things that saying that you're not confident in telling your opinion in public. Thank you and have a nice day for hearing my speech.
Thank you, Lewis, for the incredible speech. So, can Saraki give comments on the participant's speech?
Yes, I can. Hello, Luis. Yes, my name is Rocky, and it's nice to see you here. When you ended your speech, you were like, finally, okay. I like the fact that you were pretty calm and composed. You were also fluent at delivering your ideas. And of course, as a speaker, there are things that we need to maintain and there are things that we need to fix, okay? And I have some suggestion for you. Next time, if you go to the next round, you should really think, you should really pay attention to the question, because when I was listening to you, I couldn't get the point. How can culture? That's a question, right? Rather, you were focusing on how we can. But the question is, how can culture? Okay? And I really hope that you were quite aware that body language is part of the assessment criteria. So it would have been better for you when you would show your body language to convince your audience. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best for the next round.
Thank you, Sir Rocky, for the comments.
Okay, now we're gonna move on to the second participant from the high school level. It is Nicole Zoenisha with the topic, why is it necessary to understand traditions and culture to be a better member of the society? Nicole, can you say something so I can identify it? Okay.
Hello, fellow judges and fellow participants. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Nicole Zoinija and I'm from IPEKA High School. So, when I was young, I used to be ashamed of my own country's tradition and heritage. Because growing up watching Western movies like James Bond made me realize how cool James Bond is fighting in his black tie and suit. And never in a million years I would imagine him fighting crimes in batik. But as I grew up, I realized that there's nothing to be ashamed of our culture and our cultural heritage. And this realization strikes me when I was in primary school. At that time, we were celebrating Independence Day. And at that time, Independence Day, we were celebrating in a different way. By each students have to wear a cultural tradition costume from each province of Indonesia. So on that day, I realized it's actually very cool to use this cultural tradition costumes from each province of Indonesia, and it made me realize how diverse Indonesia is. And not only that, during those times, I realized that all of these traditions and cultures are actually very beautiful. And because Indonesia itself is a country full of different cultures and tradition and beliefs, it made us realize how important it is to hone our tolerance. And maybe the main question is, why is it important to hone our tolerance? Because by honing our tolerance, we can learn to understand each other better in society, and it can make us better as a citizen of Indonesia. And even as a citizen of Indonesia, we should remember our main principle, Pancasila, which in the third principle regulates Persatuan Indonesia, which means Indonesia's unity, in where by us trying to understand each other, we can learn how to be a better person in society. So, this is all from my speech. I hope that all of us can learn to hone our tolerance better, to understand each other better. Thank you so much for your attention, and I hope you have a good day.
Thank you, Nicole, for that wonderful speech. Now, can we ask Miss Joanne to comment on Nicole's speech, please?
Hi, Nicole. Thank you for your speech. Miss wanna say that first of all, I wanna say that I really like your opening by giving examples of something that you have experienced before. However, in the later speech, you said that by understanding the tradition, it would make us a better person. If you can do a next speech, if you pass this, you can explain more. How would you define a better person? Okay, Nicole? And then for your delivery and body language, it's really engaging. I really like it. And I also like your intonation and gestures, your facial expression. That's really good. Thank you, Nicole. And have a good luck.
Thank you, Miss Joanne, for the comment. So for the next participant from junior high school, we have Josephine with the topic, how does homework help students improve their grades? Josephine, you may begin your speech.
Okay, good morning, respective judges and operators of this speech contest. Thank you for letting me have the floor this moment. When we think of the word homework, we think of boredom and hours spent on pieces of paper. Homework, seen as something of a strain from having fun, doing hardly anything else than learning and living our lives. Every single scholar everywhere has most likely struggled with the burdens of extra work at home after a tiring day of school. But imagine if we saw the real point of how homework is useful to us. A famous inventor once quoted, "A genius is a talented person who does their homework." That person is Thomas Alva Edison. As stated by the Boston University's Alumni News, educators have the merits of homework since the late 19th century. Many parents and teachers have been arguing on how homework might be restraining students from growing and taking a break. Even though extra weight can cause damage in students' mental health or daily lives, especially today's generation of teenagers, homework can make us realize on how learning can be done at home or school. This task can also spread positive habits such as responsibility, time management, and self-learning, required for the growth of youths and their future. Doing homework can also improve brain memory. Believe me, I have experience with the worry of not finishing my homework every day as a student. My papers would pile up every day. But I also have realized that doing homework and preparations outside of school have improved my understanding in my materials. I'm sure we all feel bored of school, excessive tests, and it's normal to feel that way. I have also learned to enjoy doing homework because I can develop new skills, such as learning a new language, which I did, as well as exploring my new interests. What's important is to limit how we focus on doing homework and how we can save time for ourselves to avoid stress, to improve our mental health, and overwhelming feelings. Thank you for letting me voice my opinion, and have a good rest of the day.
Thank you, Josephine, for the awesome speech. So now can we hear from Sir Brad? Can Sir Brad please give your comments?
Hello, Josephine. Very nice to meet you. I'm very happy to see your performance today. And you did actually point out some important issues regarding homework. Now, what I would like you to consider when you do the next round is that why don't you consider both sides of the issues? For example, your friends or even yourself have valid concerns about homework, right? Being so tired about doing a lot of homework, yet your parents are not happy because you don't do a lot of homework. And if you also address both sides and then try to meet in the middle and see how homework can actually improve you without burdening you, I guess that will be better. And then if you could also discuss how homework can be done in many other ways, I guess you would be able to present some more original ideas. But overall, I'm very happy to see your performance today, Joseph, and good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, so much.
Okay, thank you, Sir Brad, for the comment. Now we're gonna move on to the third participant from the high school level, Sydney Kurniawan, with the topic, "Is Indonesia's education system outdated? Why or why not?"
Hello, is my voice audible?
Yes, it is audible.
Okay, thank you. Hello, good morning, fellow judges and audience, and also to my fellow contestants. I'm so honored to be given another chance to bring my speech here into the semi-final round. Today, the topic I want to talk about is about Indonesia's education system. Specifically on the question, is Indonesia's education system outdated? Are you planning to study overseas one day? What might be the reason for that? I'm sure it's not other than they have a better education system, right? Or maybe you want to make a better life for yourself. But what is wrong with Indonesia and its education system? As of now, Indonesia struggles to provide inclusive, high-quality education to its citizens. The country has much lower literacy levels than those of the other Southeast Asian nations. From 72 countries and economies reviewed every 3 years, Indonesia ranks at the 62nd. Most analysts have attributed these problems to inadequate funding, human resource deficits, perverse incentive structures, and poor management. There is no doubt that these factors have mattered. The quality of teachers in our country might also be different and lower than other countries. When we hear Singapore's education system, we hear about how good it is and people want to go there to study, including maybe some of you. The reason for this is because their curriculum focuses on teaching specific subjects and problem-solving skills. Not only do they focus on the theoretical knowledge on the subjects, but they also teach us how to apply it to our lives and our future. Most of the time, we are only taught about theoretical knowledge, but not how we can survive the outside world. When we graduate out of school, we might find some difficulties because we are not taught how to adult. We are not taught about this, and therefore, in the future, we are going to face some struggles that maybe students of other countries have already learned at school. This causes people to not be open-minded in facing the social matters we face today. For example, on sexual assault, or maybe in financial literacy. We are also still using the education system used by our parents and grandparents. But the problem we face now is more complicated and cannot be solved in the way they were decades ago. So, yes, Indonesia's education system is pretty outdated, but that doesn't necessarily mean we should give up on that. Knowing that, we should be more enthusiastic in finding out about what we can't learn at school. With the advancement of technologies, learning is not only done in school, but also through social media, internet, and other people. Some people say that they are going to go overseas to study means that you're living behind your nationality. But it doesn't always mean that way. We should learn what we can from other countries and bring back them to get there to help our country grow. Let us learn more from our neighboring countries and bring back what we can to our country. It is now our turn to build our country into a more educated and intellectual country. And that concludes my speech today. Let us always be avid learners and strive to know more, whether it's in school or outside of school. And let's make Indonesia's education system better, because if we don't, who else will? I hope to see you all again if I do make it into the finals. Thank you and have a fantastic day.
Thank you, Sydney, for the wonderful speech. Could we have Saraki to comment on Sydney's speech, please? Thank you.
Of course, I feel quite fortunate to get the opportunity to give comment on your performance because we've got a great speaker over here, right? And I really could sense your confidence, the way how you used your body language, whether they were your hands, your expression, your voice. I love singing, so I'm pretty sensitive with my ears when people is speaking or people are speaking or are singing. You were very confident, and you were know what you were doing. You were know what you were talking about. Yeah, you paused once or twice, but it was normal because it's an impromptu speech, right? And then also you were only given a little bit of amount of time. Also the fact that you mentioned that our education system needs inclusivity, right? That's a fact. Okay, you were also quite lucky to get this kind of topic because you are part of education system. And me too, I teach at a school. I'm part of the education system. So we've been contemplating and meditating on what we are doing and what we are being brought to, right? Your arguments were quite clear for me. I just wish that you could showcase. I know it's not easy to showcase the good parts of our education system. I could suggest, for example, there are tons of numbers of great teachers who are willing to sacrifice their time with, the income is not really high. Maybe you could have just showcased that part. I know you agree that it's unrelated, but it doesn't mean that you cannot highlight a little bit of our good or positive sides in our education system, right? Thank you very much. I really wish you the best. I'm waiting you to the next round. In the next round.
Thank you.
Thank you, Siraki, for the comment. And now we are going to proceed to the next participant from junior high school. We have Yosia with the topic, why is cultural diversity important to nations? Yosia, you may start.
Alright, thank you all. So, hello everybody, my name is Josia Aditya Farel Pangindaing, or my name is, or you can just call me Farel. I'm from IPEKA Catholic Santa Maria Gorontalo, and today I shall be presenting a speech about why is cultural diversity important to nations. Well, first of all, we need to get to the question of what is cultural diversity. See, cultural diversity is the existence of a variety of cultural groups within a society. Cultural groups can share many different characteristics, be it cultural, religion, ethnicity, language, nationality, sexual orientation, class, gender, age, disability, health differences, geographic location, and lots of other things. So in simpler terms, cultural diversity is about appreciating that society is made up of many different groups with different interests, skills, talents, and needs. It also means that you recognize that people in society can have differing religions, beliefs, and sexual orientations to you. Now, why is this cultural diversity stuff a thing in the first place? It's because not everybody's the same, we all know that. But every one of us grew up in different environments with different cultures and traditions. Before social media or any sort of advanced communication technology was invented, we were basically far away from each other, only knowing growing up people around us. So we developed our own culture and beliefs from the environment around us and established itself before the modern era. So, why is cultural diversity important to nations? Well, it's because cultural diversity gives these nations uniqueness and more beautiful lifestyle that are different and unique compared to us, especially our nation Indonesia. We have so many different cultural groups that are different from each other, and it's beautiful, and it's a very cool thing to see in general. For example, look at the cool and sick traditions and cultures, the tribes and cultural groups of Sunda, Dayak, Batak, Minahasa, and other things. There's a whole lot of things to admire there and be surprised at. And we still have a whole lot more of these tribes outside of Indonesia. And it's also often seen in daily life. Maybe in school you see someone that has different religion or ethnicity than you, or someone else on the streets speaking different languages and have different cultures, or someone on social media that is a different race from us and have different nationality and ideas. In addition, cultural diversity helps us recognize and respect ways of being that are not necessarily our own. So that we interact with others, we can build bridges to trust, respect, and understanding across cultures. Everyone is different with their traditions and cultures, and that's what gives us so much of our identity. If everyone in the world grew up the same, with the same cultures and traditions, then this world would be much more bland and quite boring, and with not a whole lot of special things going on around our environment. Created us equally, and each and every one of us are the same, but with different things that makes us all special. So, with all of that stuff said, in conclusion, we should protect and embrace cultural diversity because it gives the nations and its inhabitants identity. And in general, it's a really cool thing that all of us have different things that we do with different cultures and tradition. We are special no matter where we came from. This has been the end of my speech. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Farrell, for that wonderful speech. Can we have Miss Joanne to comment on Farrell's speech?
Okay, thank you. Hi, Farrell. First of all, I want to say that I really love your energy while you're giving the speech. And I also think that the content that you give is very nice. You give a very thorough speech about cultural diversity. Although maybe you have given the first speech earlier, because the topic earlier for the round one is pretty similar. But still, I really love your content. However, For the hand gestures, it's also really good for me. However, for your eye movement, I don't know. For me, it's kind of like you're reading something, and I expect you to look at the camera more if you pass this round. Okay, Farrell. Good luck for this round, Farrell. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Joanne, for the comment. Now we're gonna move on to the fourth participant in the high school level, Denzel, with the topic, why is it dangerous to put too much personal information on social networks?
Am I audible?
Yes.
All right. Okay, I'm ready to start the timer. Well, hello and good morning, fellow students and honorable judges. I would like to start the speech by asking a few questions first. Where do you live? How old are you? Do you have any sisters or brothers? Do you go to school often? Do you go to the mall often? Do you have any boyfriends or girlfriends? I'm sorry if that creeped you out. I'm sure that did. But if you notice something, those are questions that are often asked to us, and most of the time we answer them readily. We just give it up. Oh, I live here. Oh, I have these many siblings. Oh, my parents' names are this. I go to school in this school. That is something that is unfortunately a common thing nowadays in the era of social media. But we should stop that. And the main reason why is the key word for today, privacy. Privacy is a God-given right and it is protected by the law. But why is it that we should value our privacy? Whenever we go online and we share our information, we often forget that people, from no matter where they are, they can see it. And most likely, those people will remember that, especially corporations. You often notice that whenever you look for something online, on Google or on Firefox, next thing you know, on a shopping website, that item will appear on your For You page. It will appear in ads. Well, that is because of the fact that corporations, they will take your data and they'll sell it to advertisers for them to advertise to you. That is not speculation, that is not a theory, that is just a fact. That is the business model of many corporations such as Google, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and so on and so forth. Privacy keeps us safe. It keeps us from people who want to harm us. Let's say if there's a person out there and you share your information online and that person wants to know where you live, well, they can easily assess your location from your text. Oh, I went to the mall today. What mall was it? Oh, this mall. Oh, that means I live near here. And that is not good. All it takes is one person with bad intentions to go a bit further, to look a bit deeper, to figure out all about you. Our privacy is your right to keep, but often we just give it up readily. And remember, your information is not just yours, it is also people who are close to you. It belongs to your family, your friends, and generally just people around you. To give up your information would also mean putting the people in your circle at risk. And that is bad. I don't have to tell you that is bad. So we should protect our privacy because our privacy is directly linked to our freedom and our dignity. Nobody wants for the whole wide world to know what we did yesterday. All the bad things, all the good stuff. It keeps us special. It keeps us unique. Our individuality is also linked to our privacy. And without privacy, we won't be human anymore. We won't be free. That is all for my speech today, and I thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you, Denzel, for the exceptional speech. Could we have Sir Brad comment on Denzel's speech, please?
Hi, Denzel.
Hi.
Okay, so thank you very much for your performance today. I'm very happy to see that. Now, you started by asking some questions, personal questions actually, to the audience to as a lead into the topic, and I think that's a very good way to start because it will prompt your audience to think what they have or haven't done actually in social media. And you delivered pretty much convincing arguments, so I have no further comment on that. But that was a bold move actually to move away from the camera because you could sacrifice, for example, the clarity of your voice. I guess you were trying to portray some more hand gestures and also body movement, right? That was a bold move actually. Pretty risky, but I think it still worked out pretty well for you. So congratulations.
Thank you. Also, I stood up because my back hurts.
Okay. All right. Good luck.
Okay, thank you, Sir Brad, for the comment. And now we are going to move on to the next participant from junior high school. We have Niputu with the topic, what do you think the world would look like 30 years from now? Okay, you may begin your speech.
Okay. Hello everyone. It is truly an honor to be here. My name is Sheila and I'm a ninth grader from SMPK IPEKA Wisata. A lot of you guys have probably heard the word modern life, but have you guys ever imagined what the world would look like 30 years from now, counting from 2022 to 2052? A lot of you guys probably imagine flying cars or maybe artificial intelligence taking humans' job, or maybe tall buildings or humans in Mars. I mean, no one knows. In my opinion, I think 30 years from now on, planet Earth will be filled with pollution. Because we can even see it from here, from 2022 or from the previous year. Planet Earth is filled with pollution, animals and plants that are going to extinct, and then there is us. There are us, humans, or as we may call, the cause of all these problems in planet Earth. We humans never realized that all the things we're doing now is actually harmful for other creatures, but at least it filled our necessities. As long as it fills our necessities, we wouldn't care. We wouldn't learn from our mistakes, making this creature extinct or making that creature extinct. I mean, it's okay as long as it filled our necessities, which actually is not okay. Like, humans are actually selfish and evil because they only think about their self. They put their selves before others. So in the next 30 years, there might be a chance that humans left Earth, and all those creatures and the messes they made, they would probably leave for another planet that is similar to Earth. A planet that has oxygen, water, plants, and all the humans' necessities. Or maybe humans haven't figured out to left Earth and stayed on Earth instead, which is actually pretty impossible for me, in my opinion, because of the messes and the pollutions we made. Even in, for example, Jakarta. People around the world often call Jakarta cities with the biggest emission, the biggest pollution. And that is only one city in Indonesia, only one in Indonesia, not from around the world. All that pollution combined into one equals death. Imagine leaving Earth on a spaceship going on to a similar planet like Earth. I mean, impossible? No, but yes, sort of. So in my perspective, I think in 30 years, human might or might not leave Earth due to the pollution and the messes they made, which destroyed the beloved planet Earth. I think that's it for my speech. I apologize if there are any mistakes that I made during my speech. Thank you for listening to me, and God bless you.
Thank you, Sheila, for the wonderful speech. Can we have Saraki to give comments on Sheila's speech?
Sure, of course I can, because it's my job. All right, Sheila, one thing for sure, that you are a really potential great speaker, right? Especially the fact that you were talking from your heart. You did the eye contact pretty well. You delivered your aura to your audience. That's why I was saying that you were talking from your heart, because probably the disappointments are the things that you've been feeling too. That's what I could get. It's very good. Also, but I've got some notes over here. When you were saying humans, sometimes we need to be careful when we try to use certain term. Humans, does it mean all of us? And also you say they. Well, you're human too. You're part of us, right? Like that. And every time we are delivering a speech to public, in front of many people, it's better for us to also highlight some positivity, good message. I know, I also agree with you. If a lot of humans remain like this, destroying our nature, boom, the earth done. Is there any suggestion what to do? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Sir Rocky. We're going to have a